Welcome to Getting Real with John Natale. I'm your host, John Natale, today to talk about how change is opportunity for you. So many of us, whether it's just in life, our business, and what's happening right now in the real estate industry, something about change just scares the crap out of so many of us. So in this episode, I'm going to break down why change can be an unbelievable opportunity for you right now in this phase of your life and this phase of your business and your career here in real estate. Before we dive in, though, I have to take a minute to thank you for listening and or watching this podcast right now. Your support means everything to me, also to my family, to our extended Natale family. Hear everything we're trying to do at Natale, from the real estate company we have, from the coaching business we have, from the media company, this Getting Real podcast. All of it is designed so real estate professionals, business owners fail a heck of a lot less and find the life of their dreams with a much greater chance. It's really that simple. It's a big mission to redesign the real estate industry, and we're on it together. And I'm so appreciative you're a part of it and listening and watching and absorbing all this information. If you could take a second to share this podcast with a friend, share it with somebody that might be fearful of change and what's happening in our industry. Because I think as we share a similar message and we get more and more people involved in changing this industry, the better we will be. If you could share this podcast to your social media, if you could take an extra second just to rate us 5 stars, anything you could do to help us support, it'd mean the world to me. And if you are a real estate professional here in New Jersey and you're looking for a dynamic real estate company that has everything you need to grow your business, everything you need to grow your business, the training, the support, the leads, all of it, please find a link below, book a call with me to discuss your business and joining us here at Natale in New Jersey. If you're in one of the other 49 states or another country across the globe, please consider joining our Natale family and our Natale coaching program. We've had remarkable progress from the agents in our program. And if you have any interest at all of joining us, please hit the link below, book a call with me. It's completely free, and let's discuss your options to join us at Natale. Now let's talk about why change is opportunity for you. I don't have to go back into all the different changes that are happening. We have an NAR settlement with massive changes to buyer agency. How we are going to conduct business is going to change this summer. Everything in our business is kind of turned up on its head. The market is completely different and has changed from what it was just a few short years ago. No matter where you are in the country, it's definitely different. Could be here in the Northeast, dramatically different amounts of inventory, dramatically different amount of people that want to move. It's difficult. If you're in areas of the country like the Southeast or in Texas or parts of California, you have probably declining home prices right now. And that's affecting your market as well. So change is happening. Change is all around us. But here's why change is opportunity for you. Change to me brings 3 things, and these 3 things we're going to discuss. Change brings the opportunity to observe, change brings the opportunity to innovate, and change brings the opportunity to win. First, let's talk about how change gives you the opportunity to observe. You get to look out and see how other people are reacting to change. And if we're being honest, if you're out there right now looking around at other real estate professionals or business owners, anything in the regard in the real estate industry, you're looking out and probably seeing some fearful faces. You may see some excited, some just thinking business will go on as normal. However, many out there are observing fearful faces. And it's very easy to be scared right now. Again, our industry is ripe for disruption. However, I'm not the type of guy that's going to tell you the disruption's not going to come from the outside. That much I know. Disruption is going to come from the inside of the real estate industry. And you get the opportunity right now as we play out these next few months to observe different ways and different offerings that other people are making so that you can then take the next step and innovate. And being able to innovate and change is really, really cool. It is scary. But think about any damn business out there. I don't care about the business. I don't care about the industry. Trains. Let's take them, for example. My son loves trains. Trains today, and not the toy ones, I mean just the regular, good old trains that we commute on. Trains today are not the same as trains in 1900 or 1940 or 1970 or 1990. The way in which you travel by train is completely different today than it was 100 years ago. The companies that operate trains, that do different things, have all changed and innovated. The way their systems, their processes, everything about it has changed. We sometimes come across a business that has kept the same recipe, right? A restaurant that has kept the same pizza recipe or the same ice cream for 100 years. However, their marketing has changed. The way they go about business has changed. Their pricing has changed. All of it has always changed. We revel at the idea that the Costco hot dog is still $1.50. But outside of that, has Costco remained the same in the last 3 years? In the last 7 years? Costco 20 years ago was barely a thing. All businesses are constantly changing. Now, you don't even realize it sometimes in the real estate industry, but I've been doing this 16 years, so I have some perspective in this. But the ability to innovate is one of the best opportunities about change. When I started in 2008, obviously we were in literally the exact opposite cycle. It was a complete and utter buyer's market. You couldn't give your house away. And now we're looking at, hey, we actually have a complete different market, right? Now we have the exact opposite problem. Buyers have a very hard chance and sellers are in complete control. But let's also talk about how we marketed homes back then. Back then, your marketing effort was maybe having a digital camera, right? The pictures were complete crap. If you had a digital camera, that was like today getting like everything possible you could possibly put into a listing was just having like a digital camera back in 2008, 2009. For many years, people used like their flip phones or just like one picture. Having like a full suite of photos in a listing was remarkable back then. How most people found out about real estate in 2008 was still the internet. But Zillow was not the same Zillow it is today. Realtor.com was not what it was. Many people found properties through searching the MLS and hiring an agent to do so. They utilized the internet to do so. But that's not the same as today. Today, it's almost the exact opposite, if we're being honest. Buyers mostly have the same access to information as we do, and they use it. They had the same access back in 2008, but they didn't use it. Things change. In 2008, 2009, you know how I got most of my business? Craigslist. We'd put up our listings as ads on Craigslist or rentals. We'd make posts like, hey, if you were looking for a rental, a nice house under $1,600 in Monmouth County, click here. And then it would go to our website and they would register and then we'd call the lead. That's how I got so much business in 2008 and 2009 was Craigslist. Do you think I still get business by Craigslist? The ability to innovate is a massive opportunity. Again, Zillow didn't sell leads back in 2008. It's not how their business model worked. Back in the early part of my career, Zillow was mostly you were paying them kind of what they're going back to now to showcase your listing. Because again, it was a complete and utter buyer's market. So could you imagine a world where Zillow didn't sell a lead, where Zillow primarily sold you the ability to literally just take your listing and make it a showcase listing at the top, or featured listing, I think is what they called it at the time, at the top of their page, so you wouldn't have to scroll through 700 properties to find your listing. There's so many instances of innovation through the years. Do you realize when I started in real estate, and this is like aging me a little bit, but when I started in real estate, if you texted someone for an appointment, it was extremely weird. Almost every single appointment you wanted to set up for your buyer, you had to call the listing agent. Talk to them on the phone. They would hang up the phone. They would call their seller. They would call you back and you'd have a set appointment. One of the biggest draws of some brokerages around me at the time, one of their biggest draws would say, hey, we can manage your showings for you. You can have them call into the office. And the secretary there would put you on hold, call the sellers, get back to you and say, okay, yes, let me look up the notes. And okay, yeah, that one has a lockbox on it. That's how we made appointments for a long time. By like 2013, I think texting was somewhat acceptable. By 2016, 2017, showing time came into the picture. And now that's been mostly adapted by a lot, and now sometimes even being replaced by other ones because it's owned by Zillow. So how we've done business, how we've gotten business, all of it has changed. Not many people had a massive personal brand in 2012 that were able to get real estate from it. If you weren't on a TV show, you couldn't build it. Now you can build it. There's opportunity. The agents across the country that I coach, myself included, are all pictures of that opportunity. But that wasn't an opportunity even in 2019, if we're being honest. 2019, social media building a brand was still limited to your sphere, mass following, like growing your following in different ways. Now, if you create great content, you can grow a great following and people are going to be interested in working with you specifically. You will be the voice inside their head when they are thinking real estate. That wasn't possible even 5 years ago. People have innovated though. And what I want to stress here at this point is that you understand that change is always kind of happening, no matter what industry, no matter what business. Real estate does things a little bit old-fashioned. However, I also remember, I'm just going down the road here, but remember contracts. My Lord. For a long time, I don't even want to say probably at least 6-7 years, everything was handwritten. You would take a contract, you would have to find, depending, most likely either a fax machine or a scanner, send the contract, they'd have to sign it, send it back to you. Most times people are running to Staples, FedEx, a Kinko's just to get a goddamn contract back. Imagine today's world with how many contracts come in. Imagine today's world, how much crazier it'd be if e-signing wasn't a thing. Again, guys, change always happens. How we do business always changes, okay? And the reality is what we're facing now is a massive change in the market, a massive change in how we do business. This most reminds me of when I started in 2008. It was a dramatically hard market. We are in a difficult market. We're getting thrown to the wolves here by NAR to change up our entire business practice as the market is at a damn hardest it's been since 2008. Transaction volume is down dramatically. And if prices haven't corrected where you are, then you're literally just still with skyrocketing prices and 7.5% interest rates. So it is not an easy time to be in real estate. Plus now we also have to battle the change of buyer agency. Now I've poured in tons of content about this. If you find me on Instagram, you find me on TikTok, you can view a lot of what I've done, at least recently, to change our entire models here. And this episode is not specifically about just buyer agency changes. However, what I want to push on you is this last point, that change is the opportunity to win. So many are fearful and they stay in that first stage where you just observe. My Lord, observe for a little bit, see what's going on out there, and then start to innovate. Because the people who innovate and do things differently, like I said, I used to do Craigslist, done all different types of leads. I've prospected for years upon years. That was my niche. That was what I found really worked for me. But it's not what I did in 2008. And it wasn't probably until 2014, 2015 that I really start. You always have to innovate, guys. And what I do for business now is not prospecting. We get tons of leads every day from my personal brand. That was not what I was doing last year at this point. I hadn't even started. The people who innovate, who observe what's working, the people who innovate are the people who win. Because you are literally leading the change. So instead of being fearful about change, and instead of being fearful about having a buyer consultation, try setting one up. Realize how easy, genuinely easy it is. And if you have an issue with it, go back to my episode, I want to say somewhere around 20. Episode 20 was the perfect buyer consultation. Go observe, figure out how you're going to innovate, put it in place, and then go and win. Stop being fearful of some of these things, guys. Buyers want you and understand that you need to get paid. No one wants anybody to work for free. When you step off a second from the TikTok comments, the Instagram comments, you realize that people just want to find a valuable real estate source. They don't want to continue to pay for a non-valuable real estate source. Just like any business. No one's going to pay $8 for a cup of ice cream that absolutely sucks. But people will pay $8 for some of the best ice cream in the area. Think about your ice cream shop. Change is the opportunity to win. And if you innovate, if you observe, you will win. Try different things. We have a huge phrase in our Natale coaching program. And if you got little ones listening, tune this down for a second. But we fuck around and we find out. A/B test everything. Does this hook work versus this one? Does the way I ask someone to come into a consultation versus this way work better? Does a virtual consultation work better or does an in-person one? Does meeting at the office work better or does a meeting at a coffee shop work better? No matter how we feel about this whole situation with buyer agency, we are going to be, at some point this year, as of recording this, it will be August 17th, we will have to have a buyer agency agreement before showing homes. We could all argue. We could all say that that's crappy. It's not how things should be done, whatever your opinion is of it, but that is what we are given. So now comes the opportunity to innovate. How are you going to trial test things, figure out what works best in your business to get the job done, to get more clients? Are you going to pull a new lead source? Are you going to build a massive personal brand? Are you going to do different things to grow your business? Because here's where I'm going to leave this podcast episode. I would say the vast majority right now are not listening to this podcast. The vast majority right now are scared of change. And it's okay to be a little scared. But I mean, like, scared to the point where they're not going to do anything. A lot of people will not innovate. A lot of people won't even observe. They're just going to keep pretending it's okay, or they're just getting out of the business. I can't tell you how many people I know right now that are on their last deal, on their last sale, just out of it, not putting up content anymore, not even trying, and just saying, hey, whatever happens, happens. I'm kind of done with the industry. This is the perfect time to be getting into real estate, to be growing your career, to be getting to the next level, and getting literally the chance and the best opportunity to win that's probably existed in the last 15 years. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, guys, but I want you to be fired up by change. As someone who owns a brokerage, owns a coaching company, owns a media company, all the changes that are happening fire me the fuck up every damn day. And the reason why is simple, because I know 95% of my competition will not do the amount of work it's going to take that I am. I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to try different things. I'm willing to, quote unquote, eat shit for a little bit. Why? Because I've lived that before in my career in this business, and I've seen what's on the other side of it. I've seen how awesome a life can be. I already live a great life, but the opportunity now to, I look out and I'm like, whoa, holy shit, if I build this out, this could be something that changes our entire family's generation after generation after generation. You have that same opportunity. There's nothing special about me, guys. You have that same opportunity to change right in front of you. So take the opportunity. Again, change is the opportunity to first observe. Change is the opportunity to innovate. It's a very important step. And then finally, change is the opportunity to win.